Have you ever really stopped to think about the incredible machinery that's working just beneath your skin? I mean, every single movement you make, from typing on a keyboard to just walking across the room, it's all powered by your muscular system. So in this explainer, we're going to peel back the layers and create a simple user's guide to this amazing network.
All right, let's start with something we can all relate to. Go ahead, right now, just make a muscle. Flex your bicep. We've all done it a million times. And it feels like one simple, powerful movement, right?
But is it really that simple? That single flex is actually this carefully choreographed performance. It's like a tiny symphony of muscles all working together with incredible precision. So what's really happening in there?
Okay, so the first and most crucial thing to get is this. No muscle is a solo artist. Ever. Every single movement you make is a team sport, involving a whole cast of players, and each one has a very specific role to play.
Here's the thing about muscles. They can only pull. They can't push. So to create any kind of controlled movement, they absolutely have to work in these coordinated groups. Think of it less like brute force and more like a perfectly timed tug of war, where everyone is working together to get the job done smoothly and safely.
So in any given action, you've got a star player. This is the prime mover, or if you want to get technical, the agonist. This is the main muscle that's doing the heavy lifting. In our bicep curl example, the prime mover is, you guessed it, the biceps brachii. Now, here's where it gets really cool. For every star player, there's an opposing one, the antagonist. This muscle produces the exact opposite motion. But it's not fighting the prime mover. It's more like its partner. It provides resistance, kind of like a brake, to make sure the movement is smooth and controlled. Without it, you'd just be yanking your arm up with no control at all.
And this shows that relationship perfectly. As you flex your arm, the biceps brachii, our agonist, contracts and gets shorter. At the exact same time, the triceps brachii on the back of your arm, the antagonist, relaxes and lengthens. And when you straighten your arm back out, the roles completely reverse. It's a perfect, beautiful partnership.
And of course, no star can perform without a supporting cast, right? You've got synergists, which are basically helper muscles that add a little extra force to the movement, and then you have the real unsung heroes, the fixators. For that bicep curl to even happen, fixators in your shoulder and back are working like crazy to lock everything in place, giving your bicep a stable base to pull from. Without them, your whole shoulder would just lurch forward.
Okay, so we've seen how muscles work together in teams, but what about the individual muscle? How is it built for its specific job? Let's take a look at its internal architecture, its blueprint.
The core principle here is so simple and elegant. A muscle shape directly dictates its function. Just by looking at how a muscle is built, we can tell what it's good at, whether that's generating explosive power or allowing for a really wide range of motion.
And the key to this blueprint? It lies in these things called fascicles. Imagine a muscle is like a thick rope. That rope is made of many smaller bundles of string. Well, those bundles are the fascicles. And the way these fascicles are arranged, that determines pretty much everything about the muscle's performance.
And these arrangements come in a few common patterns. You have parallel muscles, like our friend the biceps, where the fibers run straight, fantastic for a wide range of motion. Think of swimmers' long, graceful strokes. Then there are convergent muscles, like your pecs, which are fan-shaped to focus a ton of power onto one single point. Then you've got pennate, or feather-like muscles, which pack in tons of fibers at an angle, making them incredibly strong. This is the design for pure power. Think of weightlifters' deltoids. And finally, you have circular muscles that act as sphincters, like the one that lets you pucker your lips. See? Each design is perfectly suited for its job.
So muscles have unique jobs and unique blueprints. But what about their names? All those Latin and Greek terms can seem, well, pretty intimidating. But I promise you, there's a secret code. And once you crack it, the whole muscular system becomes a lot less mysterious.
So here's the secret. The early anatomists weren't just picking random words that sounded cool. They were creating a descriptive naming system. The names themselves are a cheat sheet, telling you exactly what the muscle is all about based on just a few key characteristics.
And here is that cheat sheet. Look at this. A name can be a combo of these clues. It might tell you the muscle's action, like a flexor, or its size, like gluteus maximus. It can point to its location, like brachii for the arm, or its shape, like that triangular deltoid muscle on your shoulder. Some names even count the parts, like biceps for 2 heads. It's this multi-layered code that turns a really complex name into a simple description.
All right, now for the fun part. We have the concepts, we have the cheat sheet. Let's put it all together and become muscle detectives, decoding the story that's hidden inside our own bodies.
So let's take a muscle that sounds pretty complicated and see if we can figure out its story just from the name alone. We're going to tackle the flexor carpi ulnaris. Sounds like a mouthful, doesn't it? But trust me, it's actually incredibly simple. Watch this.
Let's just break it down piece by piece. First up, flexor. What does that tell us from our cheat sheet? It tells us its action. This muscle flexes or bends a joint. Okay, easy enough. Second part, carpi. This tells us where it acts. The carpus is just the anatomical term for the wrist, so it's a muscle that flexes the wrist. And finally, ulnaris. This pinpoints its location. It runs alongside the ulna, which is one of the two bones in your forearm. So there you have it. Flexor carpi ulnaris, the muscle that flexes the wrist and is located near the ulna. See? Simple.
And that's the real takeaway here. Those complex scientific names, they aren't just labels to memorize for a test. They're the muscle's biography. They tell you its job, its address in the body, and sometimes even a clue about its shape or structure. You now have the key to read that story.
So, the next time you hear a long muscle name, don't be intimidated. Break it down, decode it. You've just learned the language of your own body. What else is waiting to be understood just beneath the surface?